Hey guys, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is the past month stuff. Gonna start with the new releases. This is all from local comic shops, of course. There'll be some sale stuff at the end here, this box. Yeah, the new releases kind of been making people click off. I guess you guys are a bit like me and not too excited about new releases, so we're just gonna power through those. But this other stuff here is from a trade. Um, then another local comic shop there, another local sale, and then a big sale, um, Boxing Day. So, some good stuff here. Let's get to it. Okay, so first off, the new releases, and we're just gonna power through this because I've seen that the new release videos actually get like the least amount of views, and having the new releases at the beginning of the video also has been like making people not watch the videos. But I try to find good new releases, but yeah, as time goes on, I'm like figuring out. Um, I'm sure there's good comics out there, but it is like, like everything, it's a needle in a haystack. Any genre, like 1% of movies are great, 1% of music is of any genre is great and stuff like that, I guess. But yeah, I'm this is the final issue of The Addiction by Quinn and Zerzolo. And yeah, I'm dipping out. It started out as kind of like it seemed like a cool kind of horror crime series, but then it just issue two and three are just kind of this LOL so random um, food humor. Everything is to do with like licorice and candy canes and stuff, and it's not my thing, man. It's not my bag. I don't really know who this is for, but I guess all these folks were involved with making this happen. So I guess there are people out there, but not me, not me. So I'll be trading these, and we're gonna get to a good trade later. So this is cover C. Cover A is kind of the nicer of the two, I guess. We're just gonna power through these. Cruel Universe number 5, pretty decent. Nothing really breaking the mold, but decent, Heat Seeker Combustion issue number 2. Still, I'm waiting till I get all of these before I read them, but a cool cover by Derek Chu there. Shiver Suspense Stories. This is the kind of reboot of AC Comics from Oni, and this was their horror Christmas special, an Adam Hughes cover. And yeah, this was like pretty decent. Some good names in here: Jay Stevens and David Lapham. Just decent though. Again, nothing too crazy. I'd say, but you know me, I'm a hard ass. Nothing really. It's hard to impress me. Terminator. This is pretty good though. Issue number 3. Declan Shalvey and David O'Sullivan, and we continue again in the Vietnam chapter. I'm not sure if chapters 2 and 3 how they're gonna connect to like the first issue. I'm not sure if these will be kind of like little stories that are related to each other or not. It kind of remains to be seen. It kind of seems like they're almost independent chapters of each other so far, but they've all been pretty good. I have to say, pretty good, pretty entertaining. These are keepers for me, and this is the Alex Ross Burning Earth variant. Okay, on to the fun stuff, old stuff. Okay, Joe Kubert's Tor number 1. I got this from Book Fair Comics, and I actually got this. I don't know if it's this exact copy, but back in the day when I was a teenager, I got this same issue because I had seen Joe Kubert's pinup in one of the Sin City issues, and I was like, "Whoa, that looks fucking awesome!" That was actually the first place where I saw his art, and yeah, this is kind of it. Is, being in the magazine format, it is a little bit more mature readers. Just as caveman kind of stuff, this vicious caveman adventure. And there's some like boobs in it and stuff sometimes, but it's more just about the visceral kind of primitive gritty action, and it's pretty fun stuff, man. So this is different from the comic-sized tour as well. Just gonna flip through a little bit as we do here once in a while. Stop and showcase the art and writing. But I am gonna like speed through this because there are those like 2 boxes this month. But yeah, just some Joe Kubert goodness. That was from there, and then next up, went to Red River Books, maybe my favorite place around to trade stuff. I just brought in a bunch of stuff that I thought they could probably use there, but wasn't of particular interest in keeping for me myself. That's what I try to do. I try to like maintain a good relationship with places where I trade or sell, and just like try to like cater to the kind of stuff they like to deal in, I guess. So he gave me $175 in trade, which was freaking awesome, man. Like, like say I brought in a book like a stack like that big or something, and usually in trade you'll be like leaving with about half that or something, which is like quite good. But there I was like, man, I left with like almost the same amount by bulk or weight or volume as I went in there with. So shout out to that store; it's great, and keep it around. He had this set of Jungle Girl season 2, and I was like, sick. I want to get more Frank Cho stuff, but sadly the interiors are not by Frank Cho, just the writing, I think. So we'll see how these are. But I was a little bit disappointed when I got these back home. I should have realized that ahead of time. But you know, sometimes I like to do my research just on the fly, not look stuff up, just figure out what happens here. So that was Jungle Girl season 2, number 1, 2, 3. Frank Cho covers though. Some Boundless stuff. This is just like at this point, Boundless stuff is kind of so rare for me to see in the wild that I'll just take a chance on it and see what it's like. There's Lookers by Christian Zanier and Pat Shand and Gabriel Andrade. They're pretty good names, and when they do stuff for Avatar. So Boundless, of course, the like adults only. More, there's still a lot of violence, but more sex in the Boundless kind of wing. Um, yeah, so I'll just see what this is. Not based in Christian Pilled though. Sorry, the phone cut out there. Yeah, not based in Christian Pilled at all. But yeah, we'll see. The final chapter of Fritz Lang and John J. Muth's M, which is cool because I only found chapters 1 to 3 at another store, so finding just this chapter 4 at that store was cool. Yeah, the conclusion. So it kind of, much like the movie, it kind of becomes like almost like a crime procedural justice, Law and Order kind of thing. But the organized crime mob, that kind of coming to grips with modernity um, is kind of cool to see. It's a part of like history that maybe we're not that familiar with, but maybe mob rule being a cool thing back then of organized crime, just the community being able to catch and try the criminal. It's pretty awesome stuff, man. I won't show it though, because avoid spoilers. But yeah, this was a cool find of the year. The Fritz Lang's M, the adaptation by John J. Muth, an old one but a good one. Marvel feature number 1, featuring Red Sonja, She Devil with a sword. This has been on the want list for a while, so cool to get. Dark Horse Comics, Solomon Kane. Part 1 of 4 Death's Black Riders. I've been going into like this 2000s kind of Dark Horse Solomon Kane stuff, and it's been pretty good, so just checking out more when I can, see how this next story arc is. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, trade paperback by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. This is just a classic, perennial, like a timeless classic that, yeah, good for the library. I think this is a second copy for me, so just kind of picking some stuff up for the for sale or to friends bins here. Giving away a bunch of stuff to friends in this Christmas season. Big Book of Urban Legends from Paradox Press, Factoid Books. Yeah, just crazy shit in here, man. We showed some of this stuff. It was Big Book of Bad. There's also like Big Book of the Unexplained, Big Book of Conspiracy Theories. This can almost be considered like a horror anthology. They kind of, the hook in the car door handle and the babysitter putting a baby in the microwave and all that kind of crazy stuff here. But just, hundreds of these scary urban legends that might have happened to a friend of a friend, but might not have happened at all. Mouse in the Coke bottle, but there's a lot of crazy shit in here. Oh yeah, the the dog licking the supposed dog licking the hand of the child owner and stuff. That old urban legend and just all kinds of crazy shit in here. So pretty entertaining stuff. All of these big book ofs are entertaining. Good to have. I've had these on my shelves for a good like I want to say maybe even almost 20 years or something. So yeah, these will stay there in extra copies to the for sale or for friends. Ghost in the Shell 1.5 human error processor, some Strau Masmuni, and yeah, always good to get some Ghost in the Shell. I only have this in the Tankabon size, so I kind of like this larger size, honestly. Some great jumping on points for Hellblazer. These are all Hellblazer story arcs that you don't need to like read from the beginning of like the complete 250 or more, 300 even issues of Hellblazer. This is Dangerous Habits. This is when Garth Ennis first came on. This was my jumping on point as a kid, where I started reading, and yeah, it's a classic story art. Kind of made Garth Ennis's mark. Yeah, it's awesome shit, man. And here's like some classic Warren Ellis Hellblazer, Setting Sun. This kind of just goes through a bunch of standalone issues towards the end of his run. That yeah, they just kind of highlight Warren Ellis maybe at the height of his popularity and being crazy and like provocative and you know, taking the piss out of everything. Some dark stuff, some funny stuff. Hellblazer rarest cuts, or sorry, rare cuts. These are all kind of classic standalone or one or two issue story arcs by different creators: Jamie Delano, Grant Morrison, Garth Ennis, David Lloyd, Sean Phillips, Richard Piers Rayner, and Mark Buckingham. Yeah, there's a lot of awesome stuff in here. There's like a story about Chaz and his like controlling mom, who is actually a witch. That was one of the first fights Constantine had to like take on, trying to get Chaz out from under her thumb, kind of. And yeah, they got some stories in here about when he was young in his old punk rock band, Mucous Membrane. A lot of great shit in here. These are all like classics, and again, like standalone or easy jumping on points to the or introduction to the world of Hellblazer, the characters and vibe. Yeah, I'm not sure if I think I have these already, but yeah, like I said, I can vouch for these. Mouse Guard Winter 1152. As far as I know, this is the second story arc by David Peterson. You know me, I'm just kind of getting these. I haven't read a ton of these, but the ones I have read, I did like, and the art style is just awesome. So he's got kind of like a whole set there, and I'm kind of piecing it together a little bit at a time. Hopefully I'll still be able to. I think Black Axe is the next kind of next place to go after this. I searched around on multiple floors of Red River Books, and like I was looking specifically for this Rachel Rising Volume 3, the next chapter for me to read. Thanks again for the recommendation to subscriber Tula. And yeah, this should be pretty fun. This was the only volume of Rachel Rising that they seem to have in the whole building, unless there's some others buried somewhere. You know what it's like there. It's fun to dig, a digger's paradise. Looking forward to reading that. We've mentioned this before, Terminator the Burning Earth, early Alex Ross, doing kind of, it's kind of like that scary kind of, you know, apocalyptic Terminator era, I guess, that it isn't covered too much in the movies. It's always just kind of teased. So, yeah, this should be interesting. I've never actually gotten a chance to read this, so looking forward to that. Astonishing X-Men Volume 1, or I guess not Volume 1, but the Chapter 1 of the Joss Whedon and John Cassaday run, and like this volume of it. So yeah, cool to get another copy of this. Okay, moving on. Stopped by Mighty Comics. You know, that's like my home base right now. Marvel Tales. They had like a dollar box that had a bunch of these, so you know I'm getting these, man. Some good reprints of early Spider-Man. Marvel Tales number 156, 178. Some JR Senior, I guess there. Maybe this is the same. Maybe this is Mooney. I'm trying to get more familiar with this stuff. That's 179 of Marvel Tales. 180. Maybe did go here. 182. Marvel Tales 208. This reprints a sorry, it's been a while since I've been talking on these videos. Chris Claremont and John Byrne. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, team up with Spider-Man and Red Sonja. Kind of a silly story. Mary Jane, I guess, is a descendant of Red Sonja somehow, or distant far relation in time, so she becomes like possessed somehow. I forget how. Pretty silly. I don't know if would that mean that Red Sonja procreates at some point, or maybe she's just related more distantly, not as directly. Anyhow, that's that. Marvel Tales number 210. Vietnam Journal number 2. You know I'm collecting these, trying to put some together. They've been pretty cool from what I've read as far as war comics go. Getting to complete this set of, well, 1 to 4 of Torpedo 1972 by Enrique Sanchez Abuli and Eduardo Risso. Looking forward to reading these. Some good crime stuff there. I liked what I read of some of the new Blade Runner comics. That was Blade Runner 2019. So I decided to take a chance on this. This is Blade Runner Tokyo Nexus. Numbers 1, 2, 4. Okay, back on his section in the back room with a bunch of 50% off trade paperbacks. He had a set of like Akira 1 to 3. I couldn't afford to take all 3, or like I already have a set for myself, right? But I was like, I want to take number 1 and be able to like give it to a friend or something. It's a pretty awesome score to get this for half the American price, and it's like pretty new. But I feel kind of bad about leaving number 2 and 3 there. But you know, anybody who's not a dumbass should still be able to get 2 and 3 for a good price without worrying about getting number 1 first, because it's still a great deal. So, you know, gatekeep a little bit. Maybe the normies won't be getting 2 and 3 too fast. She-Wolf Volume 1, because I got the trade paperback of Volume 2. I already had the single issues of Volume 1, but you know, as being a bibliophile, you gotta like have them sets look nice on the shelf and match and be just so. Okay, so now let's move on to the sales, Christmas or Boxing Day sales, the fun stuff. Cobra Comics, a local like toy, games, and kind of comic shop. They specialize more in like toys specifically, and maybe games secondarily. Vintage tabletop games, but especially vintage gaming systems and games, and like they have like every vintage toy in like the freaking universe there, man. It's insane. But they had a sale of 50% off. Well, they had a bunch of stuff on sale, but I was more interested in the comics. That was the juiciest discount. It was 50% off every comic and trade paperback that they had there. So I looked through every gosh darn comic that they had, almost, except for the stuff that they had behind the shelves, because they were like, I was like, I want to look through like miscellaneous letters, right? Or fill in some runs on like X-Men and shit like that. But they were kind of, the guy working the thing was like a little bit too lazy to let me look through all the, you know, get him to move each box for me to look through. But I didn't try too hard. He wasn't rude or anything. I was just like, you know what, man, I'm on a budget anyway, you know. So anyway, yap yap yap. But this has been on the want list for a little while. Gore Shriek Volume 1, Number 1. Is this like first Greg Capullo comic art as well? Not on the cover, but inside, I think. Kind of a cool find. I will say though that like their comic prices there are a little bit like, I'm not really. I managed to find some good stuff because I looked through like everything, but basically their pricing is $5 is like the lowest price. Everything that doesn't have a price on it for a comic is $5, and then they kind of go up like in increments of 10 or sorry, of $5. So it's like 5, 10, 15, 20. So you know how that is. Why am I bitching so much? You could piece it together, read between the lines. But yeah, I find some stuff there that I thought was like good for me. Jonah Hex Two Gun Mojo. This is a platinum or some shit variant. with the shiny cover. Anyways, I was just looking for this because I want to fill in 1 to 5 and just like give them to my friend. I'll probably keep the more elite cover though, of course. Mystery Quarterly #2. Filling all these in to get together to kind of dig this stuff, right? Max Allen Collins, fun writer. Rat Fink Comics. Yeah, Ed Big Daddy Roth and R.K. Sloan. So yeah, kind of weird. $5 for that. I'll check it out. Uncanny X-Force #1 for $2.50. Yeah, because this is, it was hard to find like awesome deals there actually. Maybe they didn't know what they had with this one, or maybe it's beat up, but I just wasn't able to see that. Anyway, this is usually like a 12 American comic, maybe like going up to 20 or some shit. Just kidding. I may as well like put together, as well as trying to complete my run. I'm only missing like maybe 2 or 3 issues now out of this Remender series, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of a good price to like get these early, more valuable issues too, and maybe get a second set together to like sell or give to friends or something, piece it together, just have it there for like ready for somebody. Anyways, #2, #3. I think one of these is worth some also because it has that like Young Apocalypse first appearance or something. #3, #4. Yap. I'll keep moving. #8. #9, #10, or 12, sorry. I was missing this one. #21, #33. Yeah, I'm getting more of that X-Men run filled in. Pretty damn close. I'm only missing like a couple of keys, kind of. Uncanny X-Men 170. This is kind of a cool one as far as the trade paperback go there. Kind of like the way to do it, some of these, if you're being real savvy or cheap, depending on your outlook, is some of these like old like 1990 printings of tier trade paperbacks and stuff already have a low price, so paying half of that is like pretty awesome too. Small Wonders, the funny animal art of Frank Frazetta. I'm just a huge Frazetta fan. A lot of the time I'm not into this kind of kiddie animal art. Like I respect it, but I just don't find that I have the time or like the interest to like check it out. But it's usually pretty good, you know, like DuckTales and all that stuff is like pretty awesome. Scrooge and Bug Duck and all that stuff. Anyways, I'm not familiar with Frank Miller's forays into that stuff, but should be fun, man. That's a cover by William Stout, though. Yeah, let's look through here a little bit, right? Just kind of rare stuff to see. And the gestures are so animated and lively. The Complete Classic Adventures by Alex Toth Zorro, Volume 2. It's kind of cool to find this all by itself after I found Volume 1 all by itself at another shop a couple months ago. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, on to the final sale that I was able to get to. Yeah, I had to work on Boxing Day, so I wasn't able to go all over the place, but there was a Boxing Day sale that extended for a couple days extra at Mighty Comics, where it was 50% off back issues and comic sets, and like 25 or 30% off the American cover or the American price for graphic novels trade paperbacks, and the other like discount trade paperbacks were 60% off the US price. But yeah, he kind of like gave me like a further deal just because I was buying in bulk. So cool stuff, you know. Nothing crazy, but just, you know, a little bit of grease in the wheels. So all these turned out to be like 50 cents, $1, $1.50, and $2, and a couple for $2.50. This is on homie Big Elbow's recommendation. Holy crap, it feels like I've been gone so long right now. But yeah, I think he was saying this, what's this dude's name again? Dave Cooper, right? Yeah, that this is like some of the best air cell stuff. I think if I recall correctly, Body Count #2 and Body Count #4. I dug through so much stuff to find like weird stuff, man. Oy. Like floor to ceiling. I drank an energy drink before I went in there, man. There was so much to look through there. But usually, most of the stuff there is like kind of more modern or post 90s, I guess I'd say. And I kind of like that 80s and 90s stuff, so it's a little bit of a dig. Anyhow, Cable by Dwayne Swierczynski and Ariel Olivetti. Been kind of checking these out. Crypt of Shadows, a horror anthology by the looks of it from Marvel, with Al Ewing on the main writing duty, I think. And some other dudes. Gary Brown and Stephen Green. Jibril Morissette fan. I don't know why I'm jibber-jabbing at the jaw. I should just talk about what I know about. Anyhow, Dawn #3 by Joseph Michael Linsner. Just always checking these out. Death Blow, when someone wants to blow you away. Death Blow and Wolverine by Aaron Wiesenfeld and Richard Bennett and Monica Bennett. This kind of has like a cool, kind of like Jeff Darrow-y style maybe. So I had issue 1 a long time ago, but I gave up on finding issue #2. So I was like, yeah, I'll just sell issue #1, whatever. I'll never be able to finish it. But this was in a set with #2 also, so I'll be able to check this out. Dracula vs. Zorro. Don McGregor, fun writer. Thomas Yates, fun artist. And these Topps comics, I've been saying, are like pretty decent a lot of the time, surprisingly. They should have the mature readers disclaimer on them. That would have, it would have made me read them back then. House of Mystery 271. A bunch of these later. House of Mystery, DC Horror Anthology. Number 311. 315. 317. Kaluta cover. The Peach Momoko variant of Hulk Grand Design from Jim Rugg. Second copy, but I'll be able to pass it along. On Comic Crack's recommendation, Kaya, #1. I figured, I think this is a first print too, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like floppies lately more than trade paperbacks, so I tend to read them more. So, not a bad deal on that, right? Lone Ranger and Tonto, #1 from Dynamite. I've been kind of digging westerns and Lone Ranger stuff, maybe. Even though it seems so cheesy and corny to have like a really moral character, right, in the time of anti-heroes, but it's almost like the counterculture is actually that, somebody who's like really moral. But he's not, as I've said before, he's not really a goody two-shoes. He's more like a chaotic good, Pretty fun stuff that these can be. A copy of My the Psychic Girl, #1. A little bit beat up, though. I think that was from the Dollar Bin. Meta Barons, #14. From all these Humanoid Press books are, like, always good. Jodorowsky and Juan Jimenez. Metal Hurlant. Or Hurlant. See, if there was an E after the consonant, it would make the consonant have sound, but en français, if there's no E, then it's silent. So, Metal Hurlant. I'm not trying to show off or anything. I don't know shit, but just for anybody interested in trying to be more familiar with French and shit. #9, we got some Guy Davis, Fred Beltran, Jodorowsky. I'll just pick these up whenever I see them because they're so goddamn rare. I would like to get a set of these. Metal Hurlant #11. You know what? Does this have the Beltran pinup? Did they keep that up in the further issues? Looks like Guy Davis there. Maybe not. Nancy in Hell from Amigo Press. So this must be... Maybe this is earlier than the Image stuff. But I kind of dig Nancy in Hell, and stuff written by El Torres has been pretty good a lot of the time, it seems. It's Nancy in Hell #2 and #3. Another copy of Nyx #1, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles homage variant. Just one for the For Sale or for Friends bin. Nyx #2 with the Spider-Man 300 homage variant. Another copy of that. Extra copy of Nyx #3, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2 homage variant. Red Sonja #0 from Dynamite. An extra copy, but this is a good one, actually. It seems like this volume of Red Sonja is actually pretty good, so can vouch for that. Sabretooth #1, half the old cover price. So wow, that's actually $1.50 though. This was an expensive comic back in 1991 or whenever it was. But yeah, Larry Hama, Mark Teixeira. You can't beat it. Hard to keep it open with the cardstock cover. Space Riders #4. I've been looking for these because I like this style of art. It seems pretty awesome, man. And I remember like in one painting instruction class, they were saying, you know, you don't use the paint straight out of the container. Other artists can tell that you didn't even mix your own color and that you're a noob. But this kind of looks like just pure out of the box colors, which would be a no-no, but he's able to do like it's so striking and good, and it's kind of like that punk rock vibe of like you don't need to like have a classical education. It's kind of about the energy and what you're able to convey, more importantly than getting hung up on technical do's and don'ts, I guess, right? Like this looks like pure fun, so looking forward to check this out. I haven't like ever found the first 1 or 2 issues though, so but maybe this is the kind of thing that you can just kind of flip through and still enjoy. Hoping anyway. Well, I do want to check this out, like in writing, anyways. Read it. Brian Wood, Daniel Zazel or Zazej. I don't know how to say that dude's name, but he's a good artist. This is Starve issue 2. These are from the dollar bin. Because I had found issue 1 and I was kind of like curious to see what happens. #1, #2, #3. I don't. This is like on maybe though. I was kind of like, I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. He's like a cook that was an influencer, but he like disappeared and became kind of reclusive and off the map, off the grid. But then I'm just going back by memory. I might be getting minor details wrong here. Kind of like the company or whatever like finds him again and wants him to do shit again, but it's kind of like a futuristic dystopia and things are off the wall, kind of weird, like just off in the future. So might be all right. These are, you know, some cool names. Again, with that weird kind of poppy DIY style, Sun Bakery. Had found #1 recently in like a dollar bin. This is #2 and #3. These are not colors out of the box, so these are mixed, I guess. Or possibly by digitally. But yeah, this might be good. Who knows? It looks like it might be too kiddish. I'm not sure. That was #2. Here's #3. I never checked it out when it was coming out, but Alan Moore, Tom Strong from America's Best Comics. I guess it's kind of like poppy, pulpy, maybe throwback kind of stuff. But anyhow, this has some Art Adams with Johnny Future there. Let's show that a little bit. We haven't looked through a comic in a little bit on this video. Yeah, Smart Adams should be fun. Looks like he was kind of going for it. Quite a lot of energy. I guess the classic thing to say though is that towards the end of the stories you'd be like kind of losing the vigor, but it looks like he's keeping it there. Tomorrow's Stories #1, featuring Rick Veitch, Melinda Gebbie, Jim Bakey, and Kevin Nowlin. Tomorrow's Stories #9. I remember I flipped through this and I saw that it had Dame Darcy, who is kind of like I'm a sucker for her stuff. I guess she'd be considered like a goth Lolita, but I just kind of like the gothy stuff that she does, man. It's pretty fun. Her independent, old kind of goth comics, Meat Cake, were fun, man. The fun shit. I remember not too long ago too, just a side note, it was like possible to get original prints from her on her website that were actually like a pretty good price. Have a couple at home hanging up. Yeah, she's an oddball lady. What an odd lady. Who else is in here? That's all I really wanted to remark on. Shout out Dame Darcy. Okay, lots of Wolverine. Let's get lots of Wolverine while we can. I just want to find some good Wolverine to read, man. Volume 1, or sorry, Volume 2, the first ongoing. Number 12, number 15. Is this Nolan also? Talking about uh, Kevin Nolan. John Byrne. Number 19, number 20, number 23, 26. Yeah, a lot of half American cover price. Number 39, some Sylvester and Dan Green run with Larry Hama. Number 45, same. Some later stuff here. What volume is this? Let's find out once and for all. Volume 3, number 6. Wolverine Wendigo by Frank Thierry and Paul Gulacy. When I saw it was Paul Gulacy, I was like, let me check that out. Half the American cover price or whatever. And it's a thick boy. I guess it's kind of a thick special issue. Wolverine, The Best There Is by... Who's the writer again? Well, the artist is cool anyway. The art is Juan Jose Rip. Yeah, and there's mature readers or something, so maybe we'll get that vicious experience we're looking for. We don't want Wolverine to be tame, man. We're not looking for any tame Wolverine stories. We want shit crazy. Okay, who's the writer? Charlie Houston. But yeah, I guess it's a miniseries with Charlie Houston and Juan Jose Rip. Number 1, number 2. Should we look through a little bit? I didn't prep this video, guys, by like flipping through everything or anything. Let me be a little bit casual sometimes. Number 3. Well, I'll prepare stuff more when it's like shit I know about. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna... I can't really just like flub and grasp for stuff to talk about. It would just be kind of silly, I guess, to do. Number 5, so I think I'm missing number 4 or some shit. Excuse the cussing. I hope this is good, dude. It looks crazy. I saw the first couple pages, like some people are keeping him in a cage and like electrocuting him and shit. To make him all feral and crazy to fight and shit. So, and it looked like a lot of stuff happens in these issues and stuff. It's not just droning on, treading water. Wolverine number 300. This must be volume 2, I guess, continuing. Huh? Crazy. Number 305, Cullen Bunn. 307. 308. 309. 310, some Jeff Loeb and Simone Bianchi. 312. 313, 314. These will be fun to read, just a bunch of these probably, and they'll either be keepers or easy to, get rid of in a bunch. 315, 316. Don't trust any damn body. 317. Return of Wolverine number 1. I already had a set of these before, but I already traded it, and I kind of just like this first issue, honestly. The other 3 in the series are just fuck off. They're just kind of boring. This first issue is the highlight, kind of, and it just gets boring after. In my opinion. Uncanny X-Men number 150. Astonishing X-Men sketchbook. X-Men Regenesis. I'm just trying out some other X-Men stuff. I'm not familiar with much past like Claremont era and shit, right? But Kieran Gillen and Billy Tan or Philip Tan, one of the Tans. Some David Lapham doing some X-Men shit, kind of related to Uncanny X-Force as well. Age of Apocalypse number 2. I have number 1 already, so be able to read a bunch of these all at once. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. And lastly, from that sale, I did cave and get a trade paperback of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, because I was like, you know what, maybe that first issue is like kind of intelligent and deep if there's some stuff to stew on there or some funny jokes. But I don't know, it doesn't really do much for me. It's pretty good. I just don't really understand why people are saying it's like the best comic series of like 2000 of the last year, 2024. It is good, but I don't really think there's a lot of like meat to chew on unless I'm missing something. I think it's like kind of, how do I say this without being an asshole? You know the bell curve of like if stuff's really dumb or really smart or just kind of like it's better than average, but it's not like really smart or really like which is really smart or really dumb, which is where I like it. Sorry, the video cut off. It's like I don't really want stuff that's kind of like normal-ish. This is like just off the beaten path, normal enough maybe for people compared to Dexter, which I'm not familiar with, but maybe that like the vibe I get or the impression I get is that's kind of like normal but odd enough to satisfy people. But I want like stuff that's like completely stupid or or smart. I always talk about like the Ramones or Angry Samoans or something, right? Where maybe it's genius but digestible to an idiot as well. That's kind of like the perfect rock and roll. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty good though. It's pretty good, but I don't know if it'll be a keeper. Sorry to end on like a weird note like that. Anyways, that's the haul. I'll have more organized stuff coming up. Um, this doesn't flow great. I don't know if I'm gonna keep having the new releases at the beginning of the video because it seems like that doesn't get people sticking around, like new viewers at least. Or anyway, but yeah, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas holidays. I guess it's late for Merry Christmas, but yeah, all the warmth of the season to you, and stay jolly and merry amid the cold. The candle is your spirit in the darkness, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I've been working in the cold all goddamn season, man. Driving around in the country where there's like the prairies are crazy winds and it's -40 and I'm so cold and exhausted. It's been working nothing but overtime and I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep goddamn doing it though too. Yeah, but that's all the boring personal stuff. Uh, Sorry guys, I'm really tired. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. It'll be fun to hear from you if you have stuff to say. And I hope that you find awesome stuff out there too. Alright, cheers.